The next power of touch is waiting for us, and we will start soon. There are already first people waiting, but I do not want to open it too early. I will do 2 minutes before, so there are 4 people waiting already. So I will admit all. We will have 1 minute to go. Hello, Tracy, Leslie, Nupur, Dr. Ash. I am so happy to have you here today. And we have
Hi,
1 minute left, so we will. Hello, Leslie. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we will wait 1 more minute. I will switch my camera off and we will start again. And I'm so happy to have you all here. It's a great time. And I'm sure the discussion will be rich as usual. So switching my camera off and we start in few seconds time. I will just take a sip of my tea. And I think we can start. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next Industry 5.0 Power of Touch event in which we write on the back of language to the future, to the wasteless future, in fact. And every single week we speak about one word. And the word today is weakness. And because I have Tracy here, she was first. So Tracy, I will start with you. Tracy, if you hear the term weakness, what came first to your mind, please?
Weakness. Hello, everyone. This word actually started thinking about it when I was brushing my teeth this morning. So weakness, the one thing came to mind is physical weakness. The second is mentally. And I start thinking about we all have some kind of weaknesses, either physical or mental. We all know it. We can do our self-assessment. As human race as a whole, we are weak, naturally weak. And then I start thinking, because I live in this disaster zone, we have hurricanes almost every single year. After Hurricane Katrina and Harvey and Katrina, Houston is officially declared as a hazardous zone. Okay, many insurance companies backed out to Texas because they can make money because the disasters can hit anytime. So humans are weak in front of nature, regardless how advanced we are in technology. Hurricanes can wipe out every single thing, just in one instant. But because of creativity, because the collaboration, we can always come back. I've seen people who are living on the island, they come back every time. They rebuild, they make it even better. I don't know, I can never live on an island, but I've seen islanders rebuild their homes over and over again. Thank you, Michael. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, thank you for joining us. But just to tell you, we run without the cameras. It's not that I do not want to see you, but it's about saving the data for the people who will watch. So, and
okay, I turn it off.
I am asking the questions. You will see how it's running, and I will come to you in a minute. Okay. So, Leslie, you was the next one on the call. So, if you hear the term weakness, which is the word of today's discussion, what came first to your mind, please?
Strength. Because I have taught myself, using the law of polarity, to always look for the positive opposite, because I know that it's always there. So when you say weakness, I think strength. Now, as far as physical, yes, and I love what Tracy shared. But each person's view of ourselves and the world, as whether it's weak or strong, is distinct from one another, which means that there is a continuum of strength to weakness, and we aspire towards strength, whether it be physical, we can, or mental, and we're rolling with it. So we feel strong, and then we'll have moments when we slip back and we feel weak. I think that what we think in our mind matters the most. To Tracy's point about islanders and rebuilding, if you think about, I can't think of the man's name who was in the concentration camps, Viktor Frankl, right? Talk about devastating world. Nothing compares to an extermination camp that I could imagine. And yet it was his mind, it was what he thought that actually prevailed. And so that's how I look at it. You tell me weak, my mind instantly sees strong, because one is negative and one is positive, and our results will always match the words that we use the most and how we feel about them, weak or strong. Thank you, Michael, and thank
Thank
you,
you.
Casey.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Nupur, you was the next one. So if you hear the term weakness, what came first to your mind, please?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I was listening to Tracy and Leslie uh, on nearly similar line. Uh, it's an inherent human trait out of which we all are called human because we feel that we are strong because we have some inner weaknesses which we either suppress to show strong or sincerely avoid to behave strong. So it is something not to exhibit at times. It is something better to have at times based on the emotional status of mind. Like that, if someone, let's say I am walking in the dark alley or dark side or maybe some vulnerable areas, I am feeling weak, but it is not something to exhibit at that point in time, is to suppress and behave strong. Similarly, when I am having an emotional setback, I am suppressed and I am surrounded by my own weaknesses, then it is all about expressing the same so that my mental status or my anxieties or my physical suffering out of that weakness can reduce. So it is having multiple ways. This term is having the term in English dictionary. It can be worked, it can be read, it can be nurtured completely differently based on the context. We will be seeing it. But yes, I must say that weakness is not something bad. Weakness is something good because that is how we, and that is why we nurture our inner softer values and we call ourselves as human. So, what do you, Michael?
Thank you very much, Nupur. Dr. Ash, you was the next one. So let me give you your perspective on the term weakness.
Thank you very much, Michael, and hello to everyone. It's always your good manners, I think, where it's ladies first in all your events. And I must applaud your manners because I believe in good manners all the time myself. And it's wonderful to listen to the ladies with all three of them coming out with um, the word weakness being turned into a strength. Yes, I agree with all three of them completely because weakness is a word that expresses, should I say, a range of deficiencies or vulnerabilities and limitations. Now, at its core, it obviously signifies a lack of strength, whether physical, mental, or moral. So, in a physical sense, weakness might actually manifest itself as a diminished capacity for exertion. So, therefore, we would associate that word with fatigue or maybe an injury. And this can actually stem from an illness, poor nutrition, or lack of exercise, hindering an individual's ability to perform daily tasks or engage in any strenuous activities. Now, I would like to turn my attention to this very morning when I normally go for my early morning walk, a bit of a jog and then a walk, should I say, to keep any weaknesses away and to keep me strong and healthy. And that is what refreshes my mind. But as I was about to go out, I glanced at my balcony window and I saw a little bird on the balcony floor outside. So I looked at the poor little bird. It couldn't fly. It was weak. I felt so sad. It's very hot outside. The temperature yesterday afternoon was 46 degrees Celsius. And therefore, this poor bird must have been struck down sometime yesterday afternoon or in the evening. And it must have been lying there weak, distraught, and sad at its own plight all throughout the night. So you can imagine the feelings and the thoughts that I had early this morning to be with that bird rather than out on my normal happy walk. So that is the kind of a feeling that you get with that idea of weakness. It could be of anybody else, but anyway, I gently washed the bird down, gave it a drink of water, and waited for at least 2 hours. I went late to work, only to find that bird happily fly off, and that made my day. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ish. And Tommy, I know you are new here, but you've seen how we work. So today's word is weakness, and all the time I ask all the participants, if you hear the term weakness and you close your eyes, what came first to your mind, please, Tommy?
Weakness can be in many ways, right? It can be physical, but it can also be mental, or it can be a skill that you don't manage yet. So I see we are from different countries, and for sure not all English is the native language. Same for me. I'm original from the Netherlands. And then living in Asia, you need to learn new language besides improve your English. So it can be a weakness when you don't master the language and so that you can express yourself in a way so that people really understand what you actually want to say, instead of start assuming because you are not manage the language in the right way to really make clear what you want or don't want, or how you think about certain things. So weakness is in many forms. Weakness can also be in the physical, in my opinion, a bit of background in sport. I always was in the gym in my 20s, hardcore bodybuilding. And big physical bodies doesn't mean always that they are strong people, a strong person. Yeah, he can maybe lift a lot of weight, but it doesn't mean that it is really a strong person. They can be very quick depressed or whatever because the mind is not that strong. So you have different form of weakness, but your weakness can also be your power, because if you give more attention to it and you improve, so what first was your weakness turn into your power, and then it is not a weakness anymore. For me, living in Asia, Southeast Asia, and always busy with sport, in the beginning with martial arts. So in martial arts, you work a lot of your mindset, and I starting already with a young age implementing meditation, not in a religious manner, but to improve my mind while I'm busy with my sport. And over the years, I learned that you can use meditation for many things, even as healing and make yourself stronger. Because if you control your mind, if you are strong with your mind, then you can be strong in anything, because then your mind help you in situations where you feel weak, because you don't let yourself control by your thoughts. I think weakness is a way of thinking, about yourself, about a certain situation. And if your thoughts take control and they got totally out of hand, then you can have a feeling of weakness, what not necessarily should be a weakness. So it is all, as long the power of the mind is there and you focus on that, a situation that you are weaker because of lack of skills doesn't have to be really your weakness. That is how I look about weakness and your inner power.
Thank you very much, Tommy. It's very interesting. Ussi, you are the next one. So if you hear the term weakness, what came first to your mind?
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all. I'm truly honored to be here with you in this Power of Touch session. In simple word, weakness means not being strong. It can be in our body, our thoughts, our actions, or even in our confidence. But let me say this clearly. Weakness does not mean failure. It means you are human. We all have weakness. No one is perfect. And that's okay. In fact, it is more than okay. It is beautiful, because our weaknesses is where connection begins. Too often, weakness is met with silence, a silence born fear, shame, or misunderstanding. But silence can also be broken. When I show you my weakness, I'm not asking for pity. I am inviting trust, understanding, and connection. I'm giving you space to be strong, just as one day you may need space to be vulnerable too. This is power of human touch. It is not just a physical, it is emotional. It is when someone listens, supports, lifts you up, or it is when someone says, I see you not just for your strengths, but also for your struggles. Right now in Tanzania, we are going through hard times. Some families are suffering because their loved ones have been taken away. Many people are living in fear, and there is a silence that hides painful stories. This problem shows us that weakness is not just about one person. It affects all of us. It is remind us to stand together, speak out, and care for one another with kindness and understanding. In the world of Industry 5.0, which I proudly represent, we believe in building a wasteless world. That means we don't throw anything away, not materials, not energy, and definitely not people. We don't throw people away because of their weakness. We include them, we support them, we grow with them. Weakness is not waste, it is a party of the whole. Where one is weak, another can be strong. Together, we make harmony, and harmony is a true power of community. Let me give you a small example. A child who is shy may grow into a wise writer. A person with physical weakness may become a brilliant strategist. A community with fewer resources may still be rich in love and ideas. So today I invite you to see weakness not as a something to hide in silence, but as a something to share, support, and transform together. Because when we do that, we live with real touch, and that touch can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Usi. Once again, very strong message to all of us. Carito, the same question to you. So if you close your eyes in Philippines and you hear the term weakness, what came first to your mind, please?
Good evening, Michael and everybody. Well, right now I am weak because full day activities. Have little time, so my body is physically weak. For me, weakness is either it's a state of being, a condition, which attacks both the physical and it's the character or the mental. What Dr. Ash shared, there was a weakness in animals, different from ours, we're humans, but it is being equated with the strength of a human being. Dr. Ash came up to help him. So both are in action. Weakness can be present in a person and strength also in the same person, but it can also be in others. Could also be collective. One person is weak in the spirit, so afraid of many things, development, whatever. And he
Charito, something maybe with your microphone is broken.
and picks up others.
So we lost Charito for short. For sure, she will come back. But it was, it was very interesting, the first round of questions, because it is so powerful that not a single one of us see weakness as something to hide. In fact, I told you that I was stuttering as a child. I told you that I have no university. I never thought it's a weakness, but I made out of it the strength, the groundstone of building Wasteless World for All, because as all of you mentioned, we are humans. And I like what Usi said, the power of touch is exactly the strength which delivers the change. And yes, it's not about one, it's about the community. We are 8 billion. So why cannot we take the world in our hands? Because we have it already. But there are some who say, no, you are weak. You are just human. No. The word just is not on the right place, because we are humans. And there was one question which came to my mind, and I will start with you, Tracy. Tracy, do you think that animals feel the weakness the same as we humans?
Oh, Michael, I think animals feel weakness immediately because when you look at the way they treat their young and their old, you know there's a power right there. They can sense that immediately better than humans. Thank you, Michael.
That was a great answer. Thanks a lot. Leslie, do you think that we have the same in the fifth dimension?
You mean the same perception?
No, yes, the same perception of weakness.
No, I don't. I don't, because the thing that will distinguish the third dimension, where people who do not think at a certain level or a certain way cannot go to the fifth dimension out of fear. So those who are ready for the fifth dimension, they do exactly what I've been teaching and doing, which is to create faith in a different meaning. Faith over fear. So when we say someone is weak, we say, that person is weak, we're simply reflecting that we are weak. When we look for the weakness in others, the weakness in ourselves grow. When we look for the strength in others, our own strength grows. So the fifth dimension is a place in the mind where you can easily turn weakness into strength. Quick example. Recently, as some of you know, that I had an ocular stroke. Now, I've lived a long life with a lot of good things, right? Yes, there's been downs, but I know that every down in frequency will match the up. So whether I've experienced the up or not yet, I'm looking up. I'm expecting the opposite, and it always shows up. And so when I had this stroke, not one moment from the minute that it happened, as I was getting into the shower, it just looked like a bright flash of light out of my right eye. And then there was this a focal area of light. Not once, Michael and my friends. This is the proof that this actually can happen, that you can do this. Did I ever fall victim? The very first thing I said, thank you, God, I am so grateful that it wasn't more, that it was less, because I truly believe in karma in the sense that we have an account and we will reap what we sow. And I was so grateful that for all the negative that I've done in my own view has been outweighed significantly by the good. And the result was this one small thing. And then, of course, we have two eyes. So, not 1 minute. That is what it takes to exist or to visit the fifth dimension. And a little bit of good news, I went back after a month to the retina specialist. It looks like my vision is going to come back to a certain extent and it's being treated. Unexpected, because I already accepted that I would learn to do everything with one eye, that I could do that. And I did say to myself at one point, in my coach and accountability partner stopped me. Well, I won't be able to do audiobooks. I won't be able to do this. And they said, what? And then I realized in that instance that I absolutely can do audiobooks. I can do the editing. I can do writing. It'll just take me a little longer. So that is where I like to spend my time. And thank you for asking.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Nupur, I have a very special question for you because you know, all of us who are here on the stage, all of us, we know what love means. And the question to you is, does weakness, what role has weakness in the...
So, Nupur, in this call, Simran, you will... Just give me a minute's time.
Okay, so we will come to Nupur later. She has someone there. But I will ask Charito now, and then I will come to Tommy. And no, I will come to Dr. Ash. Charito. So, Nupur, if you can speak, Nupur, you can. Okay, so...
yeah, Michael, sorry. Could you just tell them that this is a work in progress? We may have to fix it a little bit more. We are still don't go by the sound, please. Yeah. Quantitative benefits out of these projects, and we are expecting the quantitative because yeah, Michael, could you just repeat because
yes.
I missed the context. Yeah.
My question to you is, what role do you think plays weakness in the love between two people?
Honestly, nothing is wrong because it's an expression of oneself. So I do not see anything is literally wrong here.
Okay, thank you for that. I will ask right now, I will come to Dr. Ash. Dr. Ash, your story which you share, many can say you just show up how weak you are. But from my perspective, and I'm sure from everyone here on stage, you show up how strong you are. And the question is, when do you think change the how to say, how can we change the feeling of weakness into the feeling of strength?
A very good question indeed, Michael. You see, I think it's a question of being sensitive to others' feelings. It's a question of thinking about another person, how they feel at any particular time. Now, our strength actually lies in the fact that we have that kind of a feeling in us, where we can reach out to others who are weak and give them our strength to go on in life, whether it is in education or whether it's in leadership. I'm sorry to say that the world today is fading very poorly. And the reason why, because of poor leadership all round. The trouble, for example, in the United States and other parts of the world, eruptions are taking place on a daily basis. And the reason why, because of the lack of feeling, or should I say, the weakness of leaders in understanding the feelings of the people they govern. The thought process must be towards strengthening the people that they govern, not by using force or any means to deter the true feelings of anyone at all. Thank you so much, Michael, for having me on.
Thank you very much. Charito, we have 5 more minutes left. And I hope your microphone will be working. Do you remember the moment when you feel, when you change your weakness into strength?
Yes. In many aspects, I did. Like in my field, in my business, there was something I was so afraid. But when the result came into view, I experienced that being weak was not, you know, acceptable to me at that moment. I tried to change and I built my strength within. And in any other cases, I did that. When you are, there are so many aspects, Michael. You can be weak with your the feelings in love, in business, weak in many aspects, in many things. So you analyze both. Why am I like this? Why am I weak? What should I change? When everything that is happening is facing me and looking me right in my eyes, right in the eyes. So I changed every time. I did not make my weakness as a negative tool in my life. Instead, I used it as a positive tool to make changes. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Tommy, you are the new one, and I would like to ask you because our the power of touch is not a standard event. And I would like to ask you how do you feel about it? And we have 3 minutes.
I like it. It is nice for people from different culture and their view. In my coaching, I use many times the word rules. So it's a shortcut for bullshit rules. Anywhere where we grow up, we are living by certain rules and they fit in that society, but not necessarily in another society. So with the power of touch, about weakness in love, when you say, I would say, a powerful tool is forgiveness. In love, you must learn how to forgive. It doesn't mean that you agree with what the other did to you or didn't do, but forgiveness is a powerful tool to in relation to weakness. When you can forgive, then you are strong. If you cannot forgive, then in my opinion, you are weak. So this is my gift in the first meeting.
Thank you very much. I have to tell you that we meet every single week, and unfortunately, I cannot send you invite on LinkedIn because I have the 30,000 limits of connections. But if you can join next week, I will be happy. The link will be different. I just do not know how I will send it to you. But we will do somehow. We meet every single Wednesday at the same time. So 12 o'clock Central European time because I'm speaking from Czech Republic. And, once again, it was so fascinating. So fascinating, a term which came to me yesterday, just shortly before I sent it to you. And it came to me after I faced one day earlier sunstroke. I did not have my cap on, and I'm very sensitive on the sunshine, and I have a very strong sunstroke. And yes, it was not nice feeling at all. I feel very bad, and I feel somehow weak. And the day later, I feel better, but very, very weak. But at that moment came the term to me, and I said it must be the right term to discuss. And as you know, every single time when something like this came to me, I feel that it is the right word. And I am so happy that all of you do not feel like weakness is something which we should hide. But we should not shame for it. We should be proud of it because it shows the strength in us, not the very opposite. And I would like to wish you have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, and enjoy the weakness because it will help us to enjoy the strength of our life. Thank you all and see you next week again. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Michael.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you and bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
See you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Regards, Michael.
Yeah, bye-bye.